Adventure games. They're games from a bygone era. Of course, everyone knows Monkey Island, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, and even more recent games in the same vein like Sam & Max. But not many people remember the fact that they're not just point and click games, but rather point and click adventure games. And a company that really honed in on their adventure game is Lucasfilm Games, also just known as LucasArts. They've got some legendary games under their belt, like Full Throttle, Star Wars Dark Forces, and even having a hand in the LEGO Star Wars games. I mean, duh, it's Star Wars under LucasArts. But they're also known for being the undisputed kings of adventure games and point-and-click adventure games in general, with bangers such as the Monkey Island Saga and the Great Grim Fandango. And despite the fact that they're great games, their genre is a shadow of its former self. Not many people are into adventure games anymore, instead opting to go with RPGs, Souls-likes, and boom shoots, which is fine, I like those games too. But they just don't have the same soul adventure games do. And nowadays, the only people doing point-and-click games are indie devs and Telltale, I guess. So, let's look at a game that pays tribute to the greats of adventure games, with its trademark humor and visuals. Paradigm is a game. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, Paradigm is a weird game. Okay, now that we cleared that out, Paradigm is a very weird, surreal adventure point-and-click game set in the strange, post-apocalyptic Eastern European country of Cruz, and developed by Jacob Janerka, composed by Jonas Gjelberg, and crowdfunded through Kickstarter by over 1,380 backers, in which you take control of the incredibly handsome and totally not fucking hideous mutant, Paradigm.
Time to put on some beatsies.
A genetically grown person that was horribly mutated in the process and then dumped in Cruz to grow up on his own. Your quest is a simple one. You want to make some fat beats, but your computer needs to be reset because your dumbass friend and house AI, John 3000, clicked on some Trojans while trying to chat with Maria, who's just a kilometer away. Hey, at least he's got the courtesy of telling you that the only person who has a floppy disk with the operating system in it is the local space dust addict. And so you're plunged into the world, ready to solve puzzles and talk with a wonderfully diverse cast of characters. But, soon enough, in adventure game fashion, things snowball into a Bond-esque villain who vomits candy, dealing with IT support and sentient water. It's a point-and-click game. You point and click. Okay, there is some more depth to the gameplay section. You use your mouse to point and even click on different things if you're daring enough. Therefore, interacting with the environment, which is essential to solving puzzles, and, as a direct result of this, progressing through the game, getting closer and closer to the ending with every puzzle you solve. This is a point-and-click game after all. We point and click, solve puzzles, and go through the notions of the game.
Looks like it's been done by an Andy Warhol clone. A literal clone, that is. Bashinska didn't really have much when it came to culture, so they just cloned celebrities who can't direct it.
This is where the game shines. Adventure games, especially point-and-click ones, are pretty shallow when it comes to gameplay. Therefore, the story and the characters in said games have to be really well done, memorable, and there just needs to be juicy, deep, almost Shakespearean characters. No Forspoken level dialogue here, please.
I just move shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved shit with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just move shit with my freaking mind!
And this game does that wonderfully, with such a diverse cast that includes John 3000, your house or rather power plant mate, also your domestic AI unit that has a bit of an addiction to chatting with, and I quote,
They look like sexy, sweaty ladies.
dogs, as in more than one. There are two distinct good boys in Paradigm. First off, we have the tutorial dog who teaches us how to play the game, and then we have Paradigm's dog, Igorski, who definitely has to be a German Shepherd with the way he's extremely addicted to alcohol.
Gorski, lunchtime.
Doug, the sentient eggplant, who thinks he is from the vegetable patch of Biggie Smalls. He makes beats for a living.
Do you mind dropping some fat beatsies?
Okay.
Dope.
Thanks, dude.
Delightful. And last but definitely not least, we have the playable character, Paradigm. Paradigm is a genetically deformed humanoid who has dreams of becoming an electronic musician. With his self-deprecating sense of humor, his thick, tasty Eastern European accent, and his positive outlook despite the strange situations he finds himself in,
B, like, these geometrical beauty standards are really getting out of hand. All shapes are beautiful. Thank you for dying for our musical sins, DJ Jesus. Occupational health and safety says anything less than 3 layers of duct tape is unsafe. But I like to live wild and only use 2.
he becomes quite the endearing protagonist through this adventure we embark in together with him. Actually, I'd argue that Paradigm is one of those literally me characters. I just want to be like him.
We're all a part of a reality TV show called Paradigm's Life is Nothing But Misery and Valid.
I want to live in the middle of nowhere, in a power plant, doing nothing but sit around and making fat beats all day long. It sounds very comfy. Paradigm, for me, is the actual video game equivalent of Rick and Morty, even more than High on Life. Here's why. First of all, it's a good game. Second of all, it's funny. When we think of the adventure game genre, there's a good reason why some of the more memorable ones have been straight-up comedies. A traditional adventure game lends itself, perhaps better than most other kinds of games, to the simple idea of telling a joke. And this game is no different. It has a very absurdist, sometimes meta kind of humor that it wears on its sleeve.
That mouse is super jacked.
Do you need any lifting tips, brah?
But thirdly, and most importantly, we can find Morty's face etched into this stone buttock at the Butt Observatory.
Ah, yes. Excuse me while I drown myself in a pool of bleach.
And all of these things are great, awesome. They tell us Paradigm is great, and they also prove me right. Paradigm is indeed a strange but great game.